Hi, everyone, and welcome to our very first Prodigy Collective conversation. I am here with our copywriter, Rena Chiovelli, our Canadian member of the Prodigy Collective, which is super exciting. Hey, Rena.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Excellent. So Rena and I are here to talk today about how copy impacts growth. She's the copywriter, I'm the growth strategist. We want to talk about why it's important to bring both of those together and why you need them to work together in your business. So I know obviously this is a really interesting and important topic for you as a copywriter. So why don't you just jump right in and tell us why you think copy is really important when you're planning out a growth strategy?
Sure. Well, and I know I'm terribly biased with this, right? Because I am a copywriter, and I do it's so often I'm really passionate about bringing people's voices and their business voices into their copywriting so that they can connect with their clients. So not only do I think copy is important to growth, but I really feel like it's like the single most significant contributing factor to business growth. And I'll tell you why. First of all, there is that voice and that persona that your copy can bring into your business. But what that does is it helps create relationships with your clients without you ever having to get on the phone with them or even meet them in person. I mean, really, your copy is often the first point of contact that you'll have with your prospective clients, whether it's an internet ad or a social media ad or a post in a group or just your landing page on your website. That copy is often the first thing that a potential client will see. And so it's really, I think, important that we view our copy as sort of the initial relationship builder for our clients, and the potential that has then to convert and help grow your business is quite significant, I think.
Yeah, I think that's so true. And I love this idea of the first thing people are going to see about your business. It's almost like your virtual handshake, whether that's like a landing page or a social media post. I think that's super important. And when I think about how copy plays into growth and things that I do with my clients, I love to have them go out and actually talk to their target customer. Because to your point about it's the voice, it's your voice connecting with your target customer's voice and their wants and their desires. You really need to go talk to them to figure out what that is. And I've had some really interesting stories of clients going out and talking to their target customer and then saying, oh my gosh, I didn't know that this word got this emotional reaction for them, or
would resonate. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or I was using this term and they were like, that, I don't like that at all. That doesn't make me.
Yeah.
So I think that's just a super important thing, that you can have some conversations with your target client, your target customer, you bring that back to your copy, and then it's bringing in that voice, it's bringing in their needs and desires, and it really, really resonates with them so much more.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I really do. And I think that resonation is the key to good copy and the key to good growth, whether it's through copy, through video, like through any of those content mediums that we use nowadays, quotes, graphics, all of that. I think at the end of the day, the bottom line is it's all still, the foundation of it is all still in your copy. So that's my bias, for the day, but okay. So, another really great way, and this is a segue into that, to use copy, especially in today, to grow your business, is through that leveraging of social media. I was doing some research for this conversation, and I found out some really amazing statistics about social media and growth. Social media plays a bigger role in purchasing decisions right now than television does. So we've surpassed television with social media when people are making purchasing decisions. So imagine how important that initial copy is, for instance, to your potential clients, right? Another one here, 57% rather of consumers say they're influenced to think more highly of a business after seeing positive comments online. So we look at our own copy as a business as important, but we also need to think about what people are saying online, which is a form of copy, right? They're writing it out, people are reading it. So making sure that those kinds of sentiments and those kinds of messages are also part of our copy. Why can't we use a testimonial in our next, social media ad, or right at the front landing page of our website? So those are the kinds of things I think people can exploit when they're using copy. And another thing that I thought was amazing was a third of millennials say social media is their preferred way to communicate with a business. Wow. And 90% of millennials use social media. So what a great growth opportunity that is, right?
Yeah,
so
that's crazy in terms of thinking about how you want to communicate with the business. I wouldn't necessarily go straight to social media, so that's really fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, so what's your experience in using social media with Prodigy and Company?
So that's really interesting, because as an introvert, I struggle with it, and putting myself out there and being vulnerable and talking about my value. And so it's something I'm definitely working on, and I'm trying to get better about. Sometimes it's just talking about my day and saying, this is what I'm going through, or this is what I'm doing. And I find, as a growth strategist, and some people, look to me as kind of a business coach to some extent sometimes, just knowing that I'm struggling with those things, that I'm putting myself out there and talking about what's real, I think has really resonated with people. And it's kind of that, it's building a different level of trust than I had with people before, when I was trying to be more, not that I was like marketing myself all the time, but just kind of sharing content, or look at this article, really interesting, getting that, getting real with it. And it still is a lot of thinking about the word choices that you use, and how those things play together. And when you think about Instagram and images and the combination of the words and pictures, but definitely putting myself out there more. I've gotten more engaged, gotten more people to say, oh yeah, I'm going through that too. Or if I talk about something I've done with a client, oh, that's so cool that you've done that. Like I want to have that happen too. So I think it's really valuable.
Yeah, it is. And I think that goes right back to that relationship building with your copyright. It's funny how, even as an introvert, I think verbally, most of us are used to speaking to other people in business and potential clients. And we kind of have, have our own personalities down as an automatic. But when it comes to actually putting it in writing and taking the leap and being vulnerable enough to put it in your copy, I think that's a real shift for people and for businesses. And it almost feels like a leap of faith, but I always encourage businesses to really, use their voice in their writing, because that is what's going to create that relationship.
Yeah. And I think I think it's one thing to sit and have a conversation with somebody and say, this is what I'm going through, this is what I did, or this is how I helped somebody. And when you put the words down, you're so much more cognizant of exactly what you're saying. Sometimes you just talk and you're like, oh, I said that out loud, didn't I? You put the words down, you have to really think about it. And then when you hit publish, it's out there, basically forever. You can delete it, but people can we've all seen those deleted things from years ago or whatever.
Screenshots.
Yeah.
How do they find that? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's an interesting level of, I wouldn't be afraid to necessarily say this in a conversation, but actually writing words down and putting them out on the internet for anyone and everyone to see is scary sometimes.
Yeah. Agreed.
All right. Well, we are getting close to our time. We're trying to keep these conversations short and sweet so people can learn and grab some information and some knowledge from us, which is what we hope happens. But let me get your kind of one takeaway. What's your one action item that you would give to somebody if they were looking to kind of work on their copy and grow their business? What would you tell them to do?
Okay, well, I think the biggest thing would be to what I call lather, rinse, repeat. So lather being create your key messages, know what they are. And then rinse is like tweaking them for each platform. So you'll have a key message, the basis of it and the foundation of it set, but how you say that key message or how you relay that key message might look slightly different between different platforms, social media, web content, blogs, etc. And depending on who your audience is as well. And then finally, the repeat. So like pushing those messages out as often as possible and as consistently as possible.
Yeah, I think consistency is huge in tons of areas of business, but especially when you're talking in the words that you're using and describing your value and what you do. You want people to have kind of that, almost not quite tagline, but that sort of same verbiage and wordage. It's kind of stuck in your head when it comes to thinking about you and who you are and what you do.
Exactly. Yeah. So when it comes to, this topic of copy and growth, what are your thoughts as a strategist on how copy and growth are interrelated? What's kind of like your final big tip kind of thought for people?
I think, kind of taking everything that we've said and really looking at the words, obviously, that you're putting down and where you're using them, basically just kind of testing those with your target client. So maybe having some conversations with them and getting a feel for the words they use and what's meaningful to them. And then, writing that sort of value proposition or that message as you were talking about. And part of that, obviously you're putting it out online, you're using it different places, but send it very specifically to some target clients and say, what do you think about this? How does it make you feel? Do you resonate? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Really just kind of beta testing it. And you'll get some of that feedback just in doing things online, but a lot of times people aren't going to necessarily respond to you and say, this message was really meaningful to me. So sometimes you just have to ask people very specifically, hey, how did this make you feel? What did it do you?
Yeah, it's a great measurement tool.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right.
Well, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for chatting today. I've really enjoyed it. And I want to encourage everybody to check out Prodigy Collective, see about the services that we offer, not just copywriting and growth strategy, but we have 6 other amazing, incredible business experts that work with us. So you can go to collective.prodigyandco.com and you can learn more about us. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.